You can make more progress in 3 months than you did in the last 2 years. You've been running around in circles aimlessly all because the fitness industry keeps on feeding you the same bullshit advice again and again, and it's just keeping you stuck. That was me 2 years ago, 150 pounds, skinny fat, weak, and depressed. But now I'm 180 pounds, way more locked in, I actually know what I'm doing. So in this video, I'll be going over the shitty fitness advice that you shouldn't be following, and I'll give you the proper advice, or break them down so that you know exactly what to do. So I first started taking my training a lot seriously like 2 years ago, and this was when I was doing push-pull legs, 6 days a week, training around 2 hours per day. And I was caring more about the volume rather than the intensity. And my diet wasn't necessarily the best, but it wasn't that bad either, right? Because again, I had like a history of like binge eating, and so I'm just like slowly coming down from it, and I'm just like just now starting to get into the routine of eating healthy foods. But my diet was I was so called on was like a body recomposition, and if you don't know what that is, Jeff Nipper made a video. Not that it's good, but basically what a body recomposition is where you basically lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Now that didn't work for me because it's not supposed like it shouldn't be working. And the second thing is I didn't build any muscle or like any noticeable amounts of muscle because I was training 6 days a week, 2 hours in the gym with a 30-minute cardio session at the end of it, with 90 minutes of working out, doing high volume. Like I was in the mindset of like 10 to 20 weekly sets for muscle growth. If you want to get bigger and stronger, I got to do 10, 20 weekly sets for my forearms, my biceps, my triceps, my chest, back, shoulders. Like you get it, right? I was doing all that volume for like little to no gains whatsoever. And if that sounds like you and you've been running around in circles doing the high volume push pull legs, or in fact going on a body recomposition but yet making zero to no gains, go ahead and DM me fit on Instagram, and I'll see how I can help you get jacked in the next 90 days. Another bullshit fitness industry tactic I also fell for, but not necessarily, was that all calories are the same. Now, obviously, if you have two brain cells, you wouldn't think that, because 200 grams of carbs from a potato is clearly way more healthier than 200 grams of carbs from ice cream. The ice cream has like high corn fructose syrup. It can spike your insulin, which can increase your body fat. And then where you have the potato, it's complex carb, and it's like it takes longer to digest, and it can help you feel good for maybe today's workout or tomorrow's workout. So yeah, I only for me, I use it as an excuse to like binge eat, or like make me justify what I'm eating. Because like, this is the same amount of macros, so I can eat this and it tastes better. Which again, it might be the same macro friendly, like the same as like the healthier option. However, but you don't like what you don't know is that the 200 gram of ice cream or the unhealthy junk food that you think has like the same macros as the healthy food, it affects your body differently, even though the macros are completely the same. It can spike your insulin, fuck up your hormones, or it can just make you feel less motivated for your workout. So not all calories are the same. So how do you fix all of that? How do you stop doing push-pull legs, high volume over intensity, going to the gym 2 hours a week, or body recomposition, or not all calories are the same? Like, how do you fix all that? Well, for starters, if you've been doing push-pull legs, high volume, and not been like making like significant gains, the best thing that you can do is cut your volume by like 50 to 70% and just start focusing more on the intensity. There's like a quote by Mike Mentzer where, if a muscle got stronger, would it not have gotten bigger? And the answer is yes. If the muscle had gotten stronger, the muscle would have gotten bigger. So, and if you don't know who Mike Mentzer is he's like a bodybuilder who did like the complete opposite of what his generation was doing. And so what he preaches is going to failure more often. And that's what you should be doing as like a natural lifter. So again, this is your strength, this is your muscle. As your strength goes up, it's going up, your muscle right here, the size of the muscle will also go up. So as the strength goes up, muscle's going to fall. See how it's going up? All right. So you should aim to go to failure around 2 sets per exercise, and then call it a day with like 6-minute rest times in between each set. So let's say I had the bench press with or no, I had pull-ups, right? I was doing 10 pounds on weighted pull-ups. On the first set, I would go to complete failure. Maybe I get failure around, I don't know, 10 reps, 12 reps, maybe even 8 reps. That's fine. On the second set, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Or if I want, I could reduce the weight by 25% and aim to get higher repetitions. And when you do, like, when you take 2 sets to failure, you know where your strength is, and then the next time that you like do the pull workout or the pull up, you'll be like, oh yeah, I did this last week. I got X amount of reps. I did this amount of sets. Like, okay, I did like X amount of reps. Okay, I got 10 on this one, and then 8 on this one with like 7.5 pounds. The first set's 10 pounds. I know what I'm doing this workout. I want to get more reps, maybe even with higher weight. That's what you want to do instead of like the push pull legs, where you're not really progressing the overload. You're just stagnating your like you're staying the same, right? You're just lifting the same weight over and over again. You're not really building muscle. For those of you saying, well, what about the 10 to 20 weekly sets or whatever that is, right? You don't need to worry too much about that. That's something more for like the advanced lift, like way down the line. You're not there yet. You're probably not going to get there until 5 years down the road, right? And so here's what I would tell you is that just take 2 sets and go to failure. Why? Because you're the beginner, right? I would say maybe after like 6 months, you're a beginner in the gym. You know what to do. You know how to do the exercises with a good form. Just focus on going to failure and just getting really good at that exercise. Like just autistically, like tweaking the form. Okay, this. Okay, one, two. Like focus on going to failure and then start building like bigger biceps, right? Build the bigger muscle first and then worry about the little details, the complications later. Because quite frankly, you're not in a position to be worrying about the little itty bitty parts or like, oh, the long head or the short head of the bicep, right? Just focus on building a bigger bicep in general and then worry about like the small itty bitty complications part to it. Now, for the diet part of like training, right? Will you, and you know, you hear this, now for the diet part of like your fitness journey, right? You hear the stereotypical advice of body recomposition, lose fat, build muscle, or main gain at like 30 calories and you'll get this bigger at over 3 years, right? Quite frankly, all of that is very slow progress, except for if you're doing a body recomposition ish. If you are like fat, like you are obese, like you have a gut out, you have gyno, you're like fat, right? It like you wear a shirt, your thing is poking out, right? That's the only time where you should be on a body recomposition. But even then, a cut would still do you more justice than any body recomposition. Because like these terms like body recomposition, main gaining, they're for like after you've built like a good physique and you're just trying to maintain and maybe get stronger over like 5 years in the gym. Like that's like advanced shit. Right now you are a beginner and you need to focus on bulking or cutting. If you are a like fat, like you got your gut sticking out, you need to focus on cutting and just cutting. Like that's all you have to do. If you're skinny or skinny fat, focus on bulking because those two you just have a lack of muscle, and quite frankly, you could use the muscle. Like you need the bulk in order to build the muscle. Like you're gonna build majority of your muscle on a bulk, never on a main gaining or body recomposition. Like that's not how it works. If you're like a fat person, right, and you go on a cut and you're like still relatively new to the gym, you're gonna be like one of those like unique people who is able to build muscle and lose fat efficiently, even though you're on a cut. So when I say losing fat, you're losing fat because you're on a cut and you know what you're doing, and you're just gonna like start dropping weight, body fat, right, over like the course of 4 to 6 months. Whereas because you're also a beginner in the gym, you'll naturally just build muscle because you're a beginner. Like again, as like untrained individuals, like if they just touch a dumbbell, they'll start to build muscle. Like just focus on like the best advice I could give to a fat person right now is to go on a cut, focus on building muscle, and also focus on like losing the weight or the fat through the cut because you can burn more fat because it's just energy if you have muscle to maintain, because the more muscular you are, the more calories you gotta burn to maintain all of that. If you're like a skinny fat guy, focus on bulking because you can cut now, but you're just gonna feel a lot worse. Like if you're skinny fat, right? You can cut now, but you're gonna feel a lot worse. Whereas if you bulk right now, start to build muscle, fill out your frame, fill out your t-shirts, you're gonna feel a lot better. And then maybe like 3 months, or maybe after like a solid year or 6 months after you're done bulking, you can then go on a 3 to 4 month cut, and then you can like reveal the abs. Like that's what bulking and cutting is, right? Bulking is like building yourself up, getting bigger. Cutting is like revealing the muscle. Like like the cut is revealing the muscle that you've made on the bulk. But yeah, that's it from me. And again, if you've been stuck, wasting your like time doing the same old fitness industry bullshit, push pull legs or body recomposition, and you've just been running around in circles, aimlessly making absolutely no gains, go ahead, DM me fit on IG, and I'll see how I can help you in the next 90 days or more. But yeah, that's it from me. Peace.